So, I wanted to just make another video about some things that, I don't know who has the time to watch these videos and has just lost all hope, regardless at ever any justice to be served. But the racism is always valid. It's 100% of the time. The prejudice, the gays and transgenders against me because I'm straight and they're all faggots, and transgenders and they're all within themselves. And I've talked about how much racism, and even before I get into this conversation, stop shooting me. They have been violently shooting me on my heels, and I talked about that. They trained me to believe that every time they shoot my left heel, it represents Jesus. So every time there is a situation where they want Jesus' interpretation to be embedded into my mind and existence and whatever I'm doing, they violently shoot my left heel. And they're listening to my conversations, they watch me go up and down the stairs, open the doors, all different things to train me that Jesus is my God. And if I don't do it, then I suffer, and I burn in hell with the devil. And this is all they fucking do. The guy downstairs is participating in this, including the psychologists and the people that are shooting me these electronic devices, and the people at my job site. They're trying to eliminate and poison my mind in every way that they can, and they won't stop. They want to justify me being raped, and my brother experiencing 10 homosexual rapes, with their free pass of Jesus pass, or whatever their God is. Whatever it is that they worship isn't any healthy God. It is, I want a trash can and I want to be able to kill you and get rid of your life, and this is how I'm going to do it. And every time that I talk and everything that I'm doing when I'm asleep, when I'm laying in bed, walking, they watch me and they shoot me in my left heel, and it's a constant interpretation. My left heel is to abuse me to worship their God and to believe in their God. And that's all they fucking do. But before I get into other things, that's what I wanted to say. So I also wanted to say that, I talked about, I didn't know there were so many transgenders that were, as racist as they were, because they claim that they're not prejudiced, and it wasn't truth. And anyway, I don't know what the circumstances is, but I think about, I was thinking about Mary Zarate and Robert Zarate. And, Mary Zarate was never around as often as I was. She didn't show up until I was 16 years old. And for the first 3 or 4 years, I occasionally saw her. The first 3 years, I occasionally saw her, and it wasn't until I was about 14 to 15, then she moved into that house in Carrollton with Jesse. But I remember, I was thinking, I wonder if they had hidden cameras, recording devices placed in any of the cars that I was in, because there was such an attack on us. Because I don't know who else can validate this. I don't know I don't think Jesse's willing to, because I think he's still alive. But I do know that I remember going to the Grand with Robert Zarate, Jacob, Mary, and Jesse. Me, Jacob, and Jesse were in the back seat. Robert was in the front seat, in the passenger. And we're going to the Grand, which used to be the biggest movie theater. Back then, people used to get shot and killed at the Grand. And it was like an old cliff, and it was like the hot spot. It was like the clubs of clubs. It was just a movie theater. It was weird, but it was considered the most really famous place to go to back in those days. If you went to a movie theater back then, I recall at least Robert always talked about it, and several other people. It was a big deal. And I remember we were driving in the car, and there was a black woman that was about to steal a parking space or something like that. And I'm telling you, man, they just shot me on my back. They just shot me on my back. This is how they train me. I'm not kidding you. They just shoot me again. This is what they did. They just, okay, this is what you're going to do. Look, you see that? And they'll just train me this way. Now they're shooting my left heel. So every time they abuse me, they shoot my left heel. So you see Jesus healed it. You see it was Jesus Christ. You need to worship. He healed it again. And that's all they're doing. You can see how I'm trying to talk and tell you the story of how they're fucking calling, how the racist people or what they're doing. Because we were in the car with Mary, and this lady, like, she didn't do anything. And I think she was like, maybe even with her son. But it just looked like one person who was in the car, maybe two. And they were driving like this, and we were going like this, and this lady was about to turn in, and I remember Mary kind of pressing on the gas, and they both looked at each other, and I don't think this lady didn't say anything, because I remember looking, and I remember it was on like Friday or Saturday, and Mary yelled out, he goes, "Fuck you, fucking nigger, you fucking nigger," and started saying the word nigger like repeatedly. "Fuck you, you fucking black nigger, bitch." And she totally flipped out. Now, I don't know if Mary Zarate is a transgender, but sometimes I think that she is. And I had no idea. Because if Jesse was gay, and I didn't find out until later, you know, I don't know what the circumstances is, but I say this because I remember being in the car, and it really wasn't a situation, because Mary Zarate is from the hood. She is like thinks and very much from the hood, from the ghettos in Oak Cliff. And you know, I say this because, you know, there was a good relationship of family and understanding with that person, but I don't know how much of this, you know, I say this because I used to hear the word nigger all the time. I'm not your slave, I ain't your fucking nigger, you know, with so many other people. I mean, the word racism and prejudice was such a frequent thing. It's the same thing like faggot. Growing up, my entire teens, I didn't understand why people use the word faggot and queer, not queer, but faggot all the fucking time. It was such a frequent thing that everyone always used, and it wasn't me. And then the people that were using it turned out to all be gay themselves. And they're the ones that were always saying the word faggot. "Oh, you're a faggot, you're gay, aha, you're a gay, you're a faggot." And they really meant it. It wasn't like a sad expression about no, never gay. It was really to antagonize you. And I thought I would say something about this because, you know, there's so many circumstances that I think of that, because I remember Robert telling me that she had all her credit cards canceled and she was freaking out. And I remember being in the room with Robert, and we were sitting on the bed. He goes, "Yeah, my sister said they canceled all the credit cards." He goes, "Yeah, she's all freaking out and shit." And that's why she had moved in when I was about 15 years old. I was like 15. I was about 15, 16 years old. She moved in lived there for like 3 or 4 months to save up some money, and she lived in the living room with Jacob. And I remember, like a week after I show up, Mary yelled at him in front of him, "Don't be telling people about my business and credit card. What are you doing?" And then Robert, like a couple days later, after a week later, just like, "Hey, don't worry, no, don't worry about it, nothing. She's fine." You know, so this is around the same time that I think that who was all, you know, it's really unfair to a degree, because my mother's twins are backstabbing me. They're the ones that are responsible, that are correlating this to have me raped by the transgender and having murder attempts and the abuse. They're playing along with it. They don't care. Because my mother, my biological mother, who I was very close to, is now mentally handicapped. So the psychologist took over my mother's identical twins so that they could turn them against me and justify me being raped and then having everyone else attack me, so that they can control my father's estate money in his house and my mother's portion of that ownership of that house. So because I have rightful owners, because I'm my mom's biological kid, and now she has mental disorders. They're attacking me on my job sites and everywhere I go. And at the post office, this guy named Bill was threatening me about my mother and trying to play father over my mother. At the post office, this guy's name is Bill, and he was antagonizing, saying he's in control over my mother. And she's too stupid and that I'm the enemy. What these people are doing and what they have done is to turn everything against me. Everything that you can imagine is to turn everything against me, because they want control to say whoever it is that I'm just after my mother and wanted to harm her. I wanted to steal the money, because then it makes me look like a bad person, and it gives them the ability to say they're the heroes and they're the ones that saved the situation, and that is a complete fraud and lie. There are 10 homosexual fucking rapes that had happened just with Frankie, including me being molested and raped a few times. And the people over here are just trying to justify it because my mother no longer can talk about it. And it's a lot of time has passed by now, and so now they just want control over the money and the state, and they want to abuse me as much as they can by using the identical twins to threaten my life. So, and that these are my mom's identical twins, not her kids, like her sisters. She has, I think she's triplets, and basically they're working in teams against me. I don't know who the fuck they are, but I can never express how disgusting and mutilating. If you were to put Alicia Zarate in front of my fucking mother's fucking worthless bitch ass twin to do what she did at Robert Zarate's funeral, I'm telling you, Mary Zarate, I'm telling you, Alicia was telling me this. Said your mother looks like she disrespected them, and they said something to me at Robert Zarate. He's a kid. He was 17 years old. So I say this because I think it's important. It's too late. They're going to keep justifying it. But like I said, they want control over my mother, and they're working in teams to turn everything against me to make sure I don't have any rightful say over my mother. And these total random people who I've never met are claiming authority over her. I can't control the situation because at the highest telescope of things, it's the President of the United States that's giving them everything. It's his team of army soldiers and his people that he has designated to do this to me and give this to whatever his faggots and his people that he wants to give this to. There's no one else. I know they just shot me on my heel. There's no one else that did this and did that, because he's giving the final orders to kill and giving the final orders to do whatever he wants to and whatever the circumstances. But I just know that my mother doesn't like black people, and my mother would never like that fucking monkey nigger or his fucking nigger wife to be able to be manipulating my mother like that. And I already know it's his victory. I know how my mother is. She was like that when I was younger, and so was my father. But it's Barack Obama that did that. He threatened me at McDonald's. He was violently approaching me at the grocery store, and it doesn't stop, because right now I'm at the grocery store working, and they're all charging at me, claiming that they're doing this for President Barack Obama and the president. So, Michaela, I don't know if you get to watch these videos. 100% of the time, it's all about mutilating our dead sister. That's all it's about. This is all this is about. Mutilating and practicing her worthless dead body and claiming that they're the heroes and white supremacy over her. Now, I don't know really what to say. The president is doing that. His psychologists and his people, he's the one that's doing that. I have no say and control over that. He's the one that's ordered. He knows, and the psychologists know how to tell these people to shut the fuck up or step away. He knows. They have the ability to do that with other people, but they don't. Just like they were using a murder attempt on me for many years against me, and they never did anything. So, anyway, I thought I'd make a video on this. I'll talk about some other subjects, but, you have no idea how many people are against me that even right now, that I'm afraid to talk about, because I know what they're doing, and I'm not allowed to say anything, because the more that I talk about it on camera, the more you're going to turn against me, and it's just people that I know. I know what they're doing. I'm going to the dollar store, I'm going to these other places, and they're threatening me, telling me, no, you're not. You're not going to, we're controlling your mother. They're almost flat, blatantly telling me this at the stores and everywhere I go. You don't understand that everything that I'm saying and doing, they're strictly targeting me and my mother and the dead child, my biological father. All this is all about full-blown white supremacy. They want their white faggot cowboy, their white skin, and their white eyes, their white quality to be treasured as heroes and to scum me as much as they can. There's nothing that I can do about that. The president is ordering them to discriminate against me. That's what he's doing. He's the one that's doing this goddamn shit and playing this racist and prejudice game and harassment on me. There's nothing that I'm saying to these people. And they're coming in stores and everywhere and every place in my work environments to take advantage of the situation. Because they working in teams. I know exactly what they're doing. I know the people that I can't talk about that are backstabbing me and several other things that's going on because I'm forced to. And if I don't go along with it, they become more abusive. And they keep beating me with the electronic device, shooting me on my heels, telling me that every time they spit at me and every time they, not literally spit, none of them spit at me directly yet. But every time they talk to me, every time they say all this shit, they shoot me in my heel, my left heel. So they'll be real nasty, disgusting, and throw, they play psychological, hypothetical situations about my dead sister, my father, speak on behalf of my father who raised me, Raymond Palomo, my biological father, and Kenneth, and Ken Cooper, and Sarah Cooper. It's all against me, everything. And every time they know and they sense that I get pissed off because they have thermostats, they shoot me on my left heel. No, you see Jesus healed you. You see it was Jesus that healed you. You see how Jesus healed? And they just keep doing that. So they'll do these horrors of horrible things toward me. And then they shoot me on my heels. You see Jesus healed it again. You see Jesus did it again. And they just beat the fuck out of me. And it's real violent. It hurts. On my left heel. But I thought I'd make a video on that. They're torturing me. I'm not crazy. I'm making this up.